You won't be able to select Gary Cahill for the game. Are you still a little bit annoyed about that fact?
Yeah, and I'm disappointed because I've said before, there's no doubt that it was a free kick, and I felt certainly worthy of a yellow, but not a red card. And in the back of that, I mean, I think we all seen that 2 seconds prior to that, when Chung Yong Lee was scythed down at the edge of the box, if the free kick, which should have been given, then the subsequent events would never have occurred. So we obviously feel harshly dealt with, and to compound that, Gary then out with losing him in a game that were very much, in 2-1 at a time and pushing on to try and get an equaliser at the Emirates. We go down to 11 men, down to 10 men, sorry, and lose the match 4-1. But we then get Gary suspended for 3 games in the back of it. So it seems as though as the football club and Gary particularly have been very harshly dealt with.
When you looked at the incident again on tape later in the evening, did you think there's really a good chance that we might get this overturned?
Yeah, well, I believe I've seen it in real time. They say the same about Chung Yong Lee's incident. I mean, it was so obvious for me, and I think the difficulty within the appeals is the criteria, and for what's laid down for the panel when reviewing the red cards. And I think I need to check it out again, but I think some of the text says it has to be a clear and obvious mistake by the referee. Now, if it's a yellow card, then it's not clear and obvious because it's just an interpretation that he felt it was in a red as opposed to a yellow. And I think maybe it's the criteria that needs to be looked at, because I think any football person that looked at that, I mean, I had extensive chats over the weekend, spoke to Mike Riley, the head of the referees, who also felt it was a yellow card. So I think when you've got somebody of that, that calibre, then it kind of reinforced the belief I had that there was a chance it'd be overturned. But I think the difficulty when you go to appeal is that it's the criteria that's set down in front of the panel.
How do you go about coaching players to tackle these days? I know that there are managers from some of the big clubs who would prefer your players to be in carpet slippers when you go to their away grounds, but in terms of actually tackling fairly, how do you go about coaching it these days with referees sort of having so many different interpretations?
Well, that's with difficulty, might I add. And I think it's not just the smaller clubs going to the big stadiums. I think the big boys are well used to looking after themselves. I don't think there's any doubt about that. You look through all the top clubs and they have real winners and players that know how to look after themselves. I mean, we went to the Emirates last year and there was a terrible tackle on young Mark Davis. So I think people have to give balance to it and look at their own team and realise that in the Barclays Premier League we don't want any dangerous tackles. I think we all accept that. But equally we know that we have to be competitive and be prepared to be in there and looking to try and win and do it fairly. And I think there's none of us that as managers will condone bad tackles in a game. Invariably they happen because there's a little bit of mistiming, whatever we want to call it. But I think if it is malicious, then that's something that we all want to stamp out.